Lesson 23. What are your job skills? Occupations, abilities and skills.
Hello everyone. Today we are going to review can and able to for ability. So can and able to, which both express ability. We will also review the present continuous tense. Finally, we will learn some new ing nouns, also called gerunds. So these are nouns that end in ing. But first, let's review or let's learn some new vocabulary. Please take a look at your screen. A carpenter is a person who builds houses. He also builds chairs, desks, tables, and beds. A carpenter uses a hammer, nails, a saw, screws, and a screwdriver. Now, a plumber is a person who fixes problems in the kitchen and the bathroom. He can fix a leaky faucet. He can fix a leaky drain. Next picture. An electrician is a person who works with electricity. Next picture. A veterinarian is a doctor who helps animals. And a janitor is a person who cleans rooms and buildings. A janitor uses a mop, a bucket, and a broom. Next picture. A trainer is a person who works in a gym. She or he shows people how to exercise. Next example. A seamstress is a woman who sews or alters clothes. She uses a needle and thread. She may use a sewing machine. Now let's begin with can for ability. Take a look at some more examples. A carpenter can build a house. A pilot can fly a plane. A farmer can take care of cows and sheep. A teacher can help students. So can expresses ability in the present and the future. The negative of can is can't, cannot, or can not. These are all negative expressions of can. Okay, let's look at some more examples. Larry isn't a truck driver. He can't drive a truck. Paul isn't a doctor. He cannot help his ill mother. I am not a farmer. I cannot milk a cow. Okay, now let's practice. Sylvia, what is your father's job?
My father works for the city. He can drive a big truck and he fixes the streets and the sidewalks.
Very good. Alberto, what is your father's job?
My dad is retired. He can't work. He has a bad back. He has a bad arm.
Oh, I'm sorry. Linda, what is your mother's job?
She's a housewife. She can cook very well. Her Spanish rice is wonderful.
Good. All right. Thank you, everyone. Now it's time to look and listen.
Look and listen.
A veterinarian can help sick animals. A nurse can help a doctor. A taxi driver can drive a taxi. That pilot can't fly large airplanes.
Read and repeat.
The past form of can is could. So we use could, and this is the past tense of can. The negative past form of could is couldn't. Okay, let's look at some more examples. The carpenter could build a doghouse when he was younger. The fireman couldn't save the house. The janitor couldn't clean the rooms. The plumber could work 10 hours a day when he was 30. All right, now we know can, and we also know past tense could and couldn't. So let's practice. Let's review could for ability. Alberto, when your grandfather was young, what could he do?
He was a plumber. He could fix sinks and showers.
Oh, great. Sylvia, what could your grandmother do when she was young?
She was a seamstress. She could sew. She could make beautiful clothes for my mother.
Very good. Linda, what was your grandfather's job?
He was a farmer. He could grow wheat and corn. He couldn't grow tomatoes and cucumber. The weather was too rainy.
Oh, okay. That's great, everyone. Thank you. Now it's time to look and listen.
Look and listen.
The fireman couldn't stop the fire. The actor couldn't learn his lines. When he was 25, the carpenter could build 2 sofas in one day. The doctor could look at 30 patients a day last year.
Read and repeat.
Now let's review able to. Here are some examples. Carpenters are able to make desks and tables. A seamstress is able to make dresses. An athlete is able to play a sport professionally. Actors are able to perform in front of an audience. The negative of able to is isn't or aren't able to. This is negative. Here are some more examples. A truck driver isn't able to fly an airplane. The doctors aren't able to drive a taxi. Now we're ready to practice. Linda, is a pilot able to help a doctor in a hospital?
I don't think so. A pilot isn't able to help a doctor in the hospital.
I agree, you're right. A pilot is able to fly an airplane. Alberto, is a nurse able to build a house?
I don't think so. A nurse is not able to build a house.
Very good. Sylvia, is a doctor able to help a sick horse?
That's a good question. I think a doctor is able to help a sick horse.
Yes, I think you're right. Okay, now notice that the past forms of is and are able to are was or were able to. This is the past form in the positive. And the negative past forms are wasn't or weren't able to. Past form in the negative. The past forms of is and are able to is was and were able to. The past forms of isn't and aren't able to is wasn't and weren't able to. Okay, now let's practice the past forms of able to. Alberto, was your father able to fix a leaky faucet when he was younger?
Yes, he was able to fix leaky faucet. He could do everything. We didn't have to call a plumber.
Oh, that's good. Sylvia, were you able to drive a truck when you were 15?
Of course not. I wasn't able to drive a truck. I wasn't a truck driver.
Okay, I'm sure you weren't. Linda, were your grandparents able to build their own house when they were your age?
Yes, they were able to build their house. They still live in the same house.
All right, great. Thank you, everyone. Now we're able to look and listen.
Look and listen.
The pilot was able to fly for 26 hours. The zookeeper wasn't able to find the escaped monkey. A doctor is able to treat sick people. The nurses weren't able to find the chart.
Read and repeat. Occupations. Present continuous.
The last thing we will review is present continuous. Remember, the present continuous talks about actions in progress, now, and the continuous nature of actions. Let's look at some examples. The plumber is fixing the sink. The actor is practicing his lines. The veterinarian is looking at the sick cat. The manager is having a meeting. We use the present continuous for actions and happenings. These actions are happening around the time of speaking. The action is not finished. Now, the form of the present continuous is or are plus your verb plus ing. Now let's practice. Sylvia, what am I doing right now?
You are teaching. You are a teacher. You are teaching your students.
Very good. Linda, what is your mother doing now?
She's probably cooking. Maybe she is cleaning. She's a housewife.
Very good. Alberto, what is your father doing now?
He is sleeping. He works at night. He sleeps during the day.
Okay, good job, everyone. Now let's look at some pictures. Alberto, what is the policeman doing?
He is standing in the street. He is playing with his stick. I think